Raiders. I am really close to Pelops the Victor? Yeah, the Victor. Pelops the Victor. I am Pulse Glazer. This is Snap Judgments. I'm going to tell you about the big choke point and the hardest decisions to make in Raid Shadow Legends. But first, just a quick progress check on Pelops the Victor. I have one of his homeboy champions. And then from there, I have one, two, how many of these guys do I have? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So I'm going to need four more from the last bunch of events. There will be a nice spider tomorrow for me to claim. I believe I still have to finish claiming my tournament here. Oh no, there isn't a tournament. It's a that's what I need to do. I still have 8 million gold, and I need to finish up my last event, my gear enhancement. So I'm going to finish up my gear enhancement right in the next day or so, and then I will have two more once I do the gear enhancement and spider. And then I'll probably participate in Summon Rush because getting rid of my 57 Ancient seems like a worthwhile thing to do at a 2 times Ancient. I should be close to Mercy. That is my plan, but I was looking at Pelops, and before I tell you why I was looking at Pelops and why I'm like breaking him down again for the like 17th time, I just want to remind you that you can get him for free if you start a new account. All you got to do is use the code RAID7. This is about the best legendary they've ever given us to start an account, but if you want to get him for free on a new account, you can do so. In addition, you're going to be able to, if you use our link, we have a special link. It is epyre, epyre.com/snap. You're going to get, not there, 'cause I don't have this champion. You're gonna get one of the coolest and most powerful legendaries. I know where to click, guys. I promise. I promise. You're gonna get one of the coolest and most powerful legendaries around. You're gonna get Narma the Returned for completely free. You're also going to at level 10 get Venomage, at level 20 get the Seeker, and at level 30 get Tyrell. So this is an incredible, incredible deal. You're gonna have the best start for Clan Boss. You're gonna get Pelops. You're gonna have these three: Narma the Returned. We've got our lovely toxin transfer, 3 poison and poison sensitivity, but take less damage for poison. You're still going to get Ezio. When you download the game right now, you still have another little bit to get an Ezio. So Ezio is a poison activator, Narmer is a poison activator, Venomage is a poison. You're just going to be like killing max HP on Demon Lord like a monster if you use this, and then you get a Pelops too. And like then I'm like, okay, so what's Pelops' role? Am I building Pelops? Because just because I'm fusing him doesn't mean I really have to build him, right? So I'm looking at Pelops, and from everything I've said, 50% decrease attack, really, really good into clan boss, really good into single target content, right? 2 turns, not bad. Not the best thing in the world, but not bad. This is a big attack that ignores defense and triggers off buffs. But now we're at potentially 4 books, right? And now we're at 3 more, so we're at 7 books. Yeah, how about here? We're at 10 books. All right, so now we have my wife just started talking to the cat. Sorry. Now we're at 10 books, and then luckily we don't have any here. So 10 books if I want to like guarantee that he's going to get full. Obviously, I usually stop here, but we do want the extra chance on the increased attack, right? Having a 75% increased attack is way better than a 50%. So I'm like trying to figure out how to use it. This attack doesn't deal as much damage as I want. I don't have the champions to really make this attack that ignores defense do what I want it to do. So what we really have is a burn champion. Burn's really good. Burn once we get decreased defense, if you get hit, you're gonna burn. And the other thing is this is going to create a magma shield. And that means this is a shielding champion. Shields are amazing, amazing, amazing into clan boss. They're just like phenomenal into clan boss. It's actually how I build my clan boss team. And that's what I'm considering right now. And that led me to what today's video is going to be. So what this leads me to think about is, let's say I want to do Sirsha and I want to upgrade my skills. I have 10 books. That's all my books. That's my like month of saving legendary books gone for one champion. And I have so many champions to build. Is that what I want to do? Because right now in my clan boss team, Demon Lord, my main clan boss team, right here, Ultra Nightmare, Battle, I don't have any keys, but whatever, is Valkyrie. I'm using Valkyrie. What's Valkyrie do? Valkyrie is I can find her. I thought it would just show her right away, but silly, silly me. Where are you, Valky? Right here. Valkyrie is a big shield champion, and she's already built, and she's already booked. And I got extremely lucky. It took 7 books for her instead of taking like 13. So great. But she's got the big shield right? I don't have to build her. I don't have to do anything to get her shield to a 3-turn cooldown. It's already there. I don't have to worry about any extra things. And she gives the counterattack. Is the magma shield going to be more damage than all the counterattacks from Newt and Leonardo and Michelangelo? I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Like, I don't have a way to know that. I don't think we have a way to know that yet. But what I do know is that my big choke point is books. And I don't know if I need 2 shield champions on my account right now. So this leads me down the line. Is it worth building Pelops if I already have Valkyrie? And I think the answer is to 660, yes. For books, probably not right now. And like, you don't have to get books on every champion. My Raphael, who I largely use in arena and occasionally like just because it's an ally attack for Mikey and Leo, I haven't bothered booking. The books aren't needed. You don't need to book every legendary, but a lot of legendaries are going to require these books. And like, the only real way to get books consistently is to farm Nightmare Clan Boss, and that takes a while to do. But there's all these champions in the game. I have this whole lot of champions that are like in these weird comparable slots where like they all sort of fill the same role. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about champions that fill the same role and how you decide where your really, really rare and powerful books go. So I'm basically trying to model a thought process that's going to help you out as you do this. Let's actually start with 2 poison champions, 2 freebies, the 2 most recent free to play champions. Xenomorph. I booked out Xenomorph. Do I regret it? No. But did I have to? No. Um, Xenomorphs 2 and 3 are okay. The 2 is really, really great as a crowd control, and I use Xenomorph for things like Ice Golem Hard, where I basically just keep blowing up the minions with the infestation, and as I keep blowing up the minions with the infestation, that's how I get rid of the Ice Golem, and it's totally fine. I just keep him nice and slow, and that takes care of it, right? But I've like never used Rip and Claw. It's great damage, but I don't need it. The poison damage is more than enough. So the books here, like, right, if you played long enough to get Xenomorph and you can book Xenomorph, well, that's fine. But like, wouldn't you rather book Ezio? I'm always going to try and book the freebies as a content creator, right? But shouldn't you always try and book Ezio? Because Ezio gets extra chance. He's up to 75% chance of a decreased defense. That's huge, right? He's not always going to be under fail or perfect fail, so 75% chance. But more, we're at we've got a cooldown. There's no cooldowns that matter on the Predator kit, but getting Da Vinci's design, the best ability that Ezio has, that's a 75% chance, excuse me, a 100% chance of 2 poison debuffs and 25% poison sensitivity on all enemies for 2 turns. That can't be resisted if they're under 4 or more debuffs or perfect fail, and activates them if they're under 4 or more debuffs, which you just put 2. So as long as someone else put a couple, you're good. And it will change it to bombs against people with stone skin. So this is a sick arena champion. That being on a 3-turn is huge. It's ridiculous how powerful that is to be on a 3-turn. And then we have also on a 3-turn the steals ignores 30% of defense, shield, and strengthen, and steals all buffs from the target. Those are things that it matters to get the cooldown down for. Longer battles, arena, 3 turns is doable. And now all of a sudden you have a choice, right? Because it's going to take you 4 plus 5, 9, 12, or it's going to take you 10. But you're going to get insane use out of booking Ezio, and you're going to get almost no use, or not enough marginal extra use out of booking Xenomorph. I've got Cassandra in really, really strong gear. Like my Cassandra, sort of rocks. She's chilling with her Merciless set, one of my best gear sets, and I can't bring myself to book her. She doesn't do anything unique enough or distinct enough for my account. I want to take you through some of the other choices I had to make. So a choice I genuinely regret. When I was brand new, one of my first champions was Rush Card, and you might not know Rush Card. Rush Card has a decent little block active skills and block buffs for 2 turns that he can place on bosses, but it's a one enemy, so whatever. He's got an okay. This is a nothing burger, right? Remove one random buff. But what he really is a 2-turn block damage. So, like, okay, that's really great, right? A 4-turn for a 2-turn block damage is very strong. Is that significantly better than Grachos, who's got a 3-turn block? Sorry, no, a 3-turn block 1-turn block damage. Not significantly, right? Because this also comes with a 60% increased defense. Roshkar doesn't have much more utility, but we have a group-wide block buffs on Grachos, and we have a decreased defense for extra damage, so we're decreasing opponent's defense, increasing ours, and a little bit of extra heal. and 25% defense ignore, and the passive that says if an ally has more than 50 AP is under any buffs, that ally deals 10% more damage. If an ally has less than 50 and is attacked by an enemy under any debuffs placed with the champion, ally receives 10% less damage. That's amazing. This is fantastic. This is so much utility on Grachos, who somehow, despite being on fire, has no burn. He's incredible for like 5 reasons. He's just a strict upgrade. But you're like, hey, Rushguard has the 2 turn, and that's better. Well, then why not build Alsgore? Alsgore is better. And like the problem is I got these in the wrong order. And that's where I'm trying to show patience and the thought process you're gonna have to have. You get Rashguard, you're excited, you're like, I can take that into clan boss, and you build it. And then a month later you pull Alsgore and you're like, oh. So Alsgore also has a heal, but his A1 can increase 2 random debuffs on the target champion. Oh, that poison lasted longer, that decreased defense lasted longer. That's awesome. I want to get that chance up, but it's not worth the extra books. Legendary books are too hard to come by. Okay, so what about this? Attacks all enemies, 75% are removing 2 random debuffs. That's actually a 100% chance. And even if it's a weak hit, if Jetney's on the team, I happen to have gotten Jetney recently, and a 15% continuous heal based on HP versus our friend Roshguard, who's based on his also HP. Okay, all right, based on attack and then HP. Like this confused kit that really needs an upgrade. And then even the block damage is better because this is a 4 turn, right? A 4 turn, 2 turn cooldown, 4 turn that fully heals a target ally. So if they got through anything, it fully heals. And then when he gets attacked, drops a decreased speed, even better with Jetney. And like even this, Alsgore for all the use, and I use Alsgore. My main use for Alsgore is great with Jetney into Ice Golem because decreased speed is really important for Ice Golem because that means that they don't do the turn meter fill on buff. I could have however many books. 5, 6, 7? 7 extra books there. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like 7 extra books here. And then Grachos, I kind of am happy I did because I use him for Hydra. But like, I could have all these extra books because I don't really use any of them nearly as much as I just use my friend Demitha. Demitha, who also has the block damage, also gives a continuous heal, 3-turn cooldown. Good enough, right? It's 1 less turn. It's it's like 50% versus like 33%. But instead, we have a big old heal, increase duration of all ally buffs, and decrease duration of all ally debuffs with a big old heal. Come on. And then even the A1 comes with a shield. And yeah, I don't know. Like 2-hitter shield. Like Demitha ends up being, even though she's just an epic, but epic books are far easier to come by, right? Like I've got so many more epics built. Like I wish I had just built Demitha and kept my legendary books for other options. And by the way, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you we're just gonna hit Durandal, doesn't matter who we hit. And we're just gonna say, look, I've already got 15 epic books, and I was at 0 when I had like 7 legendary books. It's ridiculous. They just fill up so much faster. You're gonna be able to build them so much faster for an early account. All right, so other choices you're gonna be making. I did this one right, so like, yay me. Iodex Archer. Iodex Archer is if an enemy is killed by an ally's default skill from your revive or relevant, it's going to reduce the cooldown. Okay, fine. Revives with 50% HP, 50% turn meter, single ally, and then they attack for 1 turn with an increased attack. If your ally is attacked, that's good, and we can get that down to a 4 turn. Not bad, right? But I didn't bother booking. Attacks all enemies, heals by 5% of max HP. Not bad. And then we have a 50% increased attack buff and 25% strengthened, along with the turn meter fill. That's a really cool little kit, right? 25% speed in arena. That's a really cool little kit. One I would use. But luckily, I did my research, I paid attention, and I realized we have a free hero. We have Arbiter. And Arbiter is Aedex Archer, but better. 25% speed in arena? No, 30. Heal heal 1 ally and have them attack? No, how about on a 5 turn, not a 4 turn? Worse here. But we're gonna get a 30%. We're gonna heal with 30% HP and fill turn meters by 20%. Again, not as good of a heal, but hits everyone. And then the extra turn means this acts as a 4 turn cooldown. Plus, we can use it just as a turn meter buff. But we have another turn meter buff with an increased attack. That's also gonna give us a heal. In addition, we have a buff removal, right? A decreased duration of all buffs by 1 turn, and we have the thing that makes that a 2 turn fairly often. The A1 even comes with the weaken to help increase damage. This is just a better kit from a free champion. You'll note this one relatively cheap on books, but booked out, right? Booked out completely. Worth it. Decisions, I'm still not sure on. It's easier to make these decisions when we're talking about epics, right? So we have one of the decisions that I'm still struggling with who to really invest in some more. They're both built, right? But as you're early, you'll have some these decisions to make and they'll be harder. My Selling Priest Ornn has this amazing thing where whenever a poison is activated, you're gonna heal. You're gonna increase the champion's HP and defense each round. It's great. So, and then he's got to tackle enemy. This is the big attack, right? On a 3 turn, 50% chance of 2 poison debuffs and 25% poison sensitivity for 2 turns, and heals for each poison placed by the skill. So, the more enemies, the better you're doing here. Just a phenomenal champion. Can instantly activate the poison debuffs, and it's HP based, so like we have the survival based on HP. All this stuff is great. I have some decent gear on him. You want revival stuff? Ornn is amazing, can solo a ton of content. My Ornn has been quite good, but not great. Because I haven't committed. I'm torn between Ornn and oopsie. I've got to actually fix that. Let's do this very quickly. Ornn has like really, really great gear, right? We saw that. Akemptum has just sort of whatever. Set manager, global presets. Aha, right here. There we go. Akemptum has this junk. Just sort of mediocre floating around gear. However, Akemptum is, when fully built, when actually really good, again, booked out, better. But Akemptum has a higher gear requirement to do high level content. What do I do here? I'm not 100% sure. I obviously decided to go for Ornn, right? My Ornn is better than my Akemptum, but Akemptum has 80% chance of inflicting damage from poison to enemies under Hex whenever the allies receive damage from poison. Not from his poison, from any poison. So he's amazing for poison teams. And then attacks all enemies 3 times. Each hit has a chance of increasing duration of Hex or placing Hex for 2 turns. And that's a 3 turn cooldown, and so 2 turns of Hex. Plus, attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has 40% chance of placing a poison, and that poison can hit everyone. If the target's under a Hex, it's also going to do a debuff spread for that poison and stick it everywhere. Because of this and a speed in all battles, which our friend Ornn is nothing. So like they're both amazing solo heroes, but they both have these really high gear requirements, and that's the kind of thing you have to really, really think about and consider as you're booking out these champions. A choice that many, many new players have to make because these all come with all of these choices come from they come up when you're building your champions, but they come up because a lot of these are champions you're going to get from different content creators' promo codes. I can't find her. All right, Godseeker Neri isn't a promo code champion, but she's really good, right? She has a heal all allies by 15%, decreased duration of debuffs. She's got a single ally revive with 50% HP, fills their turn to 50%, resets cooldown on all their skills. What? And then increase the amount of healing allies received by 10% passively and actively gives them a revive on death when they're about to get it with a fatal hit. Then even a little heal on the A1. 5% max HP, right? All this stuff is pretty just good. Godseeker Neri is really, really solid. Do you book her? I obviously did. Or do you go with Rector Drath? Rector Drath has 20% heal, a better heal with a perfect veil. If you've max healed them, you often do. A decrease attack, which is honestly better than the heal on the A1. A single target revive that gives a 3 turn perfect veil and slightly less HP. And then a passive that allies under veil or perfect veil whenever they just passively heal all the time. Like all that together, which one is better? I'm going to tell you. I think it's Rector Drath. But what's the content you're struggling with? You need Clan Boss or Chimera? It's Rector Drath. You need to clear some dungeons? Well, for dungeons, a lot of dungeons, particularly like the Shogun's Grove style dungeons, Godseeker Neri is way better. But like, okay, how many healers do we really need in the epic ranks? Because those are single target healers. What if we want a group healer? What if we want Tagore? You can see I have not fully built Tagore. Tagore has a couple books from my like first week playing. He was one of the champions I got with my promo code. He can get a 3-turn increased speed and a heal. He does decent damage on his A1, and he's got a 5 um 5-turn heal all. Sorry, revive with a heal and a shield. Plus decreased damage by allies 50% HP or less. Tagore is really good. Is that where we want to go with our epic reviver? Do we want a group revive or a single target revive? I think the single target and epic are way better, but that's not like all the choice, right? Because there's also Ursula the Mourner, and this is the class of the epic revivers. Ursula the Mourner has a decreased target's turn meter, not bad. Always happy to have it, right? Attacks all enemies, 50% decreased attack, love it. On a 3-turn, 50% increased attack on all allies, love it. And then the best heal, the single best heal on the epic, revives all allies at 75% HP, fills their turn meters by 50%, increase defense, and strengthen on all allies on a 5-turn. The single best revive of any epic. However, the rest of the utility is not really there, right? Decrease attack and increase attack is nice, but we have that on an A1 for a Rector Drath. We don't have the heal that the others bring us. So I ended up going not that way. Part of the reason I was able to do that is I have champions like the aforementioned. I have a Glicade. I got very lucky. Glicade is insane. I've got Glicade. I ended up having that Arbiter that we talked about earlier. So I had the group revive on the legendary level, so I could use my epic level as a single target revive, which matters, right? Because now I also ended up with. I don't think I even have her in my. I don't think I even have her in my active uh, squad. But I also pulled Mother Cybele, and I want to build her at some point because 25% speed in all battles is great. But she's a revive on death on all allies. That's worse than a revive, right? Because they have to die at exactly the right time, or that's nothing. She's got a decent decreased speed. And then she's got this weird ability that's a pain in the butt to use that can place increased speed, block damage, and continuous heal, but can also sort of mess up and not really do what you want it to. She does have a really good passive, but am I really going to spend the extra on her when I already have Arbiter set? When I already have Rector Drath as a reviver? No, no, I'm not. However, this is the one I need your help on, friends. This is the one I really need your help on. And then I'm going to take you through one more after the one I really need your help on, as far as these types of choices go. I fused Noldwa, and I was really, really, really excited for Noldwa. I have her at 660 somewhere. Somewhere? Ah, here's Noldwa. This is our friend Noldwa. You see, she's at 660. I started getting her supports. I put no books into her. She has Enfeeble. Enfeeble's insanely good for 2 turns on the A1. Not on bosses, though. Then we get a Weakens for some extra damage. I don't have Solinar. I wish I did. We have a Remove All Buffs. Love it. Remove All Buffs is great. And then a Decreased Defense. We could get some extra damage. With books, 3 turn, 100%. And then a really great revive. 50% and 50% HP and turn meter on whole team. And places a shield on them equal to max HP. So even though this says attack and this says attack, right? Actually, this isn't even an attack, it's just a buff. So even though this says attack, you build her with max HP and accuracy, and you just say when I revive someone, they get a huge shield. A little bit of turn meter fill. I was really, really, really excited. Like super excited for Noldra. And then a week later, I get Kaja the Rai. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, well, now I've got Kaja the Rai, and I don't know if that's better than Noldwa. So I spent a bunch of time. Kaja the Rai, you can see, is at 550. Again, a bunch here. None of the books used yet. No relic. Kaja the Rai has a heal on the A1. Oh, that's way worse than Enfeeble. Why am I even having this conversation? Well, a 19% speed in all battles is part of the reason. 50-50 on the revive, right? But we also have a crit rate, crit damage buff. And we have Timid. So all of a sudden, if the Timid the Fool is on the same team stuff actually matters. He's going to revive and do his crowd control if he's dead. Or just do his crowd control. Okay. We also have the debuff removal, right? Oh, Nolda does a full debuff removal. This is only a remove 2 debuffs from 2 rend debuffs from each ally. Oh, but now we're placing block debuffs on the allies instead of decreased defense. block debuffs has extra utility on a 3 turn. That's two. That's 1 out of every 3 turns have block debuffs, and we saw we have Demitha, and now we're starting to cook, right? What's the last thing? Oh, we also get rid of turn meter reduction, except we have Timid, unlike having Solinar. If we had Solinar, I think it's an old Noldo easy. But Kaja is really, really close, right? And I'm completely torn on what to do. And so I'm figuring I'm gonna get them both to 660, and I'll decide. I have Timid, so I'm leaning sort of toward Kaja, but not in a major way. And then I'm pulling last week for the big event for the big Heroes Path, and I get what is her name? I can type Ben. I get Venalicia, who doesn't have any leadership I care about, but does have 3 times on the A1. Ice Golem is a boss, right? Oh, sorry, not Ice Golem. Fire Knight is a boss. Each hit has a 25% chance of a 2 turn weaken, so weaken's good. Not, again, worse than Enfeeble, better than the heal, middle of the pack. But 3 times means it's probably, like, it's getting close to that Enfeeble. What about this? Attacks all enemies before attacking removes all buffs. 75% chance of a block buffs and decreased defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. And that's better than anything the other two have by a lot. Remove all buffs, not two. Not block debuffs on champions for 1 turn, and block buff debuffs and 60% decreased defense, which is what our other friend has on all enemies for 2 turns, which is what Noldua has. I would rather have Benalicia, right? So far, so good. Like, between the two. And then we have Revive All Dead Allies with 50/50. If all other allies are dead, 75/75, and they get a cooldown. Also increases the cooldown of all enemy skills by 2 turns. What? So it basically says, no, 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 we're going to turn all your stuff off. And what about the passive? Whenever, instead of reducing turn meter effects, which might or might not matter, we have Fields Champion's turn meter by 20% whenever an ally dies. Oh, okay. Heals champion by 20% of their max HP whenever they are attacked by an enemy under Pain Link. But how do we get Pain Link? Oh, places a Pain Link on enemies who deal 25% more of an ally's max HP with a single skill. So basically, anytime an ally gets hit, because any enemy that we care about a reviver for is going to do that, right? Venalicia is the best one. But I learned, right? I think Venalicia is the best one anyway. I waited. I didn't put books into any of them. And then now that there's champion trainings, there's clan versus clan coming, and I'm actually figuring out who to upgrade in order to get my fusion. I have the books for who I want. And guess what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uh and 5, 10. This doesn't take any. That's the exact number of books I have if that's what I decide to do. See how this works? Everything works out if we're patient. Although I'm curious what you think. I'm actually gonna let you vote in the comments. Which of the three, Benalicia, uh, what's her name, Kaja or Noldua, do you think is the right one to build? Remembering that I own Timid. Or are you Timid? I own Timid, but I do not own Solinar. If I own Solinar, there would be no conversation. The last two I want to talk about are the ones that annoy me. So I spent way too much in the game early. I was paid to make videos for a little while. I'm not anymore. I'm doing this for the love of the game now. That's why we're on my own channel. But I got Saoirse, and Saoirse's really cool, right? Saoirse, I've thrown again 550. 548. I guess not quite 550. Thrown some masteries in. Have not used any books. This is a burn champion. Triple hitter, increases duration of burn. It also decreases random debuff on the target. Whatever. Um, 80% chance of a burn on all enemies. Can book up to 100. That's really annoying, though. Actually, we could probably not book her. Attacks only 75% chance of decreased speed for 2 turns if the target's under a burn, and a 75% chance of hex for 2 turns. Honestly, I might be able to get away without booking this. And then whenever the champ's attacked by an enemy under a burn, heal by 25% chance. Also 35, booked up to 50 to activate any burns on the attacker. All that's really good. This is a really good burner. Relatively cheap, powerful, like relatively book cheap, can be largely ignored, only need a couple things. There's only one cooldown we care about, and the second we hit it, we basically can stop everything else. Although, and we can even start booking before we get to the before we unlock the mastery, so we don't have to waste extra chances on stoked. We can just go high accuracy. All that's really good. But I also have the most similar champion in the game. Like literally, if you look on Hell Hades, these two are like listed right next to each other. They have all the same stats, all the same rating for everything. I have the Walking Tomb Dring. And Walking Tomb Dring is hilarious because look, he is literally walking tomb. He's got like the mausoleum dude on the back. Um, boom, attacks all enemies. 75% chance of just placing an HP burn. Book it up to 100, but this one requires more books. But it's HP based, and HP based is nice for a burner because this is a tank. Where Search is gonna heal and try and get hits to activate burns, this is gonna tank hits. But HP, lots of damage. Again, 100% burn on all enemies, 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Huh. Okay. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Activates any burns on the target after attacking. We have burn and burn activation, just like we did before, except it's a little easier to use. And then a weird skill, right? Can decrease the cooldown of the Exalted Pyre skill though, if if the target's current HP is higher than this champion's current HP. So like Hydra, right? When you do this against Hydra, you're going to keep Exalted Pyre up 100% of the time. Even a cool passive, but this passive doesn't require anything. However, 1, 2, 3, 3 plus 5 is 8. 11 books required. Ugh. Reflects 30% of damage received back if the champion's 50% more, and deals 30% more damage if they have less than 50%. Really, really great champion. I have no idea if Welcome to Ring or Saoirse is better. I think they both look amazing. I'm completely torn. Eventually, I will build one of them for Hydra. I would like to eventually build both of them for Hydra, but eventually I will build one of them for Hydra. And like just in case we wanted to complicate things further, right? He's a speed, not speed. Whatever the hell the green thing is, green lightning thing. She's a she's an I believe attack combat. What are these called? It says it right here, right? No, it doesn't. God forbid it says it. Whatever. Um, for whatever reason, the green is speed to me. The blue is magic. Void is void, and the red is I want to say combat or attack, whatever. But like I also have shoo. Stop popping things up. I also have actually built Amisha. She's not nearly as tanky, and she doesn't have the activate, but her burn comes with a stun and a decreased speed on targets with less than 50% turn meter. And she's got big attacks and decreased defense based off it, and turns freezes into burns. So like she's really, really, really solid, right? And she's a void, so that she has the extra ability to not deal with it. So like, do I have to build Drang? Do I have to build Saoirse, or can this be enough? These are the kinds of decisions we're making, and especially making with our most valuable resource in the game. And everyone's going to tell you the most valuable resource is shards, and shards are important, but you should be using your shards at 2 times events during fusions and sort of holding them otherwise. What you need, because you can have every great epic in the game, if you don't have the books, if you don't have the books, it just doesn't matter. You need, particularly the most valuable resource, the hardest to come by. There's no place to farm it. You can just get ancient shards, right? Just from various content. You can only really get these from like tournaments and filling various like special missions. But legendary books, Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss and Nightmare Clan Boss, and nowhere else. You can fully book like a champion a month. Think about your legendaries. Be careful. Let me know what you think about my dilemma as it comes to Noldra, Kaja, and Venalicia. And I'll see you soon for another video. Thanks. I wanted to make sure I talked to you about some raid stuff today. Don't forget epire.com/snap. epire.com/snap. If you're interested in starting a new account, I think it's really, really worth it. Even if it's like a second account, this is the best start you're going to get. I'll see you soon for another video. Peace, everybody.